Before we start, I want you to do something strange. Think about the person you were 5 years ago. Not the highlights, not the Instagram version, the real version. The one dealing with stress, confusion, heartbreak, self-doubt. Now ask yourself something honestly. Would that version of you survive the life you're living today? Because the truth is, most people don't realize how much they've healed. Not because they haven't grown, but because healing doesn't look dramatic. It looks quiet, subtle, almost invisible. And today, we're going to uncover 10 signs you've healed more than you actually realize. But pay attention to sign number 7, because most people mistake it for loneliness when it's actually one of the strongest indicators of emotional healing. So let's begin. Think back to a time when something small could ruin your entire day. Someone criticizes you, someone ignores your messages, someone makes a passive-aggressive comment, and suddenly your mind starts racing. You replay it, you overthink it, you feel angry, you feel defensive, and your entire mood shifts. But now something different happens. You actually pause. You notice the emotion, but you don't explode. That moment right there, that pause between what happens and how you respond, that's one of the clearest signs of healing. Because healing isn't about never feeling triggered. Healing is about not letting the trigger control you anymore. And most people underestimate how powerful that shift really is. But the next sign might be even more surprising, because it's something people often call being cold, when it's actually growth. There was a time when you tolerated too much disrespect, too many broken promises, too many situations that drained your energy. Do you know why? Because you didn't want to lose people, you didn't want conflict, you didn't want to feel alone. So you stayed. You explained yourself, you tried to fix things that were never yours to fix at the first place. But healing changes something inside you. Now, when someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, you don't argue endlessly, you don't chase understanding, you simply step back, you leave. And some people call that being distant, but in reality, it's called self-respect. And what's interesting is the next sign that shows up right after this one. Because once you start protecting your energy, something else starts changing too. Let me ask you something. How many arguments in your life actually improved your life? Not many. Most arguments just drain your energy. But years ago, you probably felt the need to defend yourself, to prove your point, to make sure everyone understood you. But healing teaches you something very powerful. Not every misunderstanding needs to be corrected. Not every opinion deserves a response. Sometimes, the most powerful move you can make is silence. Because protecting your peace becomes more important than winning a debate. And when this shift happens, something else changes too. You start relating to your emotions differently, which leads to the next sign. I'm curious about something. As you listen to these signs, are you starting to realize you've changed more than you actually thought? Because a lot of people watching this video will suddenly realize something very important. They've been judging themselves too harshly, and the next sign is something that many people struggle with for years. There was a time when emotions felt like enemies. If you felt sad, you tried to ignore it. If you felt anxious, you tried to push it away. If you felt hurt, you told yourself to toughen up. But suppressing emotions doesn't make them disappear. It just hides them. Healing changes that relationship. You stop fighting emotions and instead you listen. Because emotions are signals. Sadness means something mattered. Anger means a boundary was crossed. Fear means something feels unsafe. And when you allow emotions instead of suppressing them, you begin processing them, which leads to something many people find extremely difficult. Letting go of people who don't choose you. This one hurts because many of us spent years trying to earn someone's attention, trying to prove we were worth loving, trying to show someone our value. Maybe it was a relationship, maybe it was a friendship, maybe it was someone who slowly pulled away. And for a long time, you chased, you texted first, you made excuses, you gave more than you received. But healing changes something inside you. You actually realize a simple truth. If someone truly wants you to be in their life, they will make space for you. And if they don't, you stop chasing, not because you stopped caring, but because you finally started caring about yourself. But here's something interesting. Once this happens, another mindset shift appears. And this next one is incredibly powerful. We're halfway through the list, and the final signs are the ones people almost overlook, especially the last one, because it's the moment you realize you're no longer the same person who once felt broken. So let's continue. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. People think forgiveness means allowing someone back into your life. But healing teaches you something different. You forgive so the anger stops living inside you. But you don't forget the lesson, because growth doesn't mean becoming naive again. It means becoming wiser. You can forgive someone and still decide they no longer belong in your life. That's not bitterness, that's clarity. And once that clarity develops, you start experiencing something many people fear, being alone. Except now, it doesn't feel like loneliness anymore. This is the sign most people misunderstand, because society tells us being alone means something is wrong. But healed people know the difference between being alone and being lonely. Years ago, silence might have felt uncomfortable. You needed distractions, noise, messages, people around you, because being alone meant facing your thoughts. But healing changes that. Now you can sit in silence. You can spend time alone without feeling empty. You can enjoy your own company. And this is powerful, because someone who's comfortable alone will never stay somewhere they feel lonely. But the next sign might be even more freeing, because it removes something that keeps many people stuck for years. For a long time, you wanted answers. Why did they treat you that way? Why did things end? Why did someone disappear? Your mind replayed the past over and over again, searching for explanation. But healing brings a powerful realization that not everyone will give you closure. Some people leave without explanation. Some chapters end suddenly. And instead of chasing answers forever, you create your own closure. You accept the lesson, you move forward, and when you reach this stage, something inside you becomes much kinder, especially the way you speak to yourself. Your inner voice shapes your entire life. Years ago, it might have sounded like this: you're not good enough. You always mess things up. Everyone else is ahead of you. But healing slowly transforms that voice. You begin treating yourself the way you would treat a friend, with patience, with understanding, with compassion. You stop attacking yourself for every mistake. You start learning instead. And this change might be one of the most powerful signs of healing, because once your relationship with yourself improves, everything else begins to improve too, which leads to the final sign. And this one is the most important. The version of you who once felt broken, the version of you who struggled, the version of you who didn't know how things would work out. That version of you started the journey, but along the way, something happened. You changed, you learned, you grew. And even if you still carry scars, those scars don't define you anymore, because you're no longer the same person who got them. You're stronger, wiser, more self-aware, and sometimes the biggest sign of healing is simply realizing how far you've already come. So if you ever felt like you're not making progress, take a moment, look back, think about the challenges you survived, the lessons you've learned, the strength you built, because chances are you've healed more than you actually realize, and the person you're becoming today is someone your past self would be incredibly proud of. And before you go, even if one of these signs resonated with you, take a moment and acknowledge how far you've come. Healing isn't loud. Most of the time it happens quietly, in the choices you make, the boundaries you set, and the way you treat yourself. So if this video reminded you of your strength, let me know in the comments. I'd genuinely love to hear which side hit you the hardest. And if you want more videos like this, videos that help you grow stronger mentally, emotionally, spiritually, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel, because this channel is all about helping you become the strongest version of yourself. And trust me, you're a lot closer than you think. I'll see you in the next video.